Okay. Bear with me, everyone, as I prepare this short presentation. My daughter with her singing lessons in the background. Yeah. So let's see. What I need to do here is to go here and go here. Bear with me, people. Okay. Let's see. Give me just a minute here. Okay, everybody, let's see here. Boom. So give it a little time here, and we are going to go here, and I'm doing this live. Hello, everybody. This is Taki Hicks, iHustle Daily, and I'm actually doing a quick live here in the Thomas Power Partners, basically a repeat of this morning's presentation. I've been notified that this morning's presentation did not, nobody recorded it, which we usually record our presentations over at Natomas Power Partners. So being that we didn't, I'm going to do my best here to recap or repeat what I spoke about this morning, which is going to be SMS marketing. So please bear with me as I attempt to do this and do it as a live as well. So this morning's presentation was about SMS marketing, which is the marketing platform of the future. Actually, not of the future, it's of now. I mean, we've been, excuse me, warming up to now in the industry of marketing, etc. Everything has been geared to using a platform of the cell phone. Hold on a minute. Let me, first of all, let y'all see me for one thing before I start this. So, back to what I was saying. SMS marketing is the marketing of today and future going forward. And today I'm going to explain a lot of the reasons why that is in this short presentation. which we did do this morning at Natomas Power Partners. Unfortunately, I was running late and we didn't get it recorded, which, like I said, usually our recordings our presentations are recorded and put up in the group to experience later for those members, excuse me, those members who are unable to attend in the morning, our morning meeting, and other people interested in Natomas Partners and the type of information that we share there. So excuse the echo, I'm in my connection room. This is where I get most of my work done. It's kind of an isolated space and there's probably an echo, so forgive me for that. But anyways, back to the, excuse me, back to the subject at hand, which is SMS marketing. Right off the back, in order to experience the technology I'm going to talk about, you can just text the word, or you can call it a phrase, but it's actually a word. I put the I there together. So iHustle to 716-281-4597, and you can get a live test drive of some of how this new SMS technology that I'm going to talk about here. So I guess the biggest question right now would be, what is SMS marketing? And it's a way to send a short message, a short media message, so to speak, to strategy. It's a strategy that allows businesses to send messages to their customers via text. Excuse me, I got a bad something I ate or something. But anyways, so this is where the new technology is going. SMS technology is sending short, and they have to be there a certain length when you're talking about words, like, you know, Twitter is 140 characters. There's so many characters you can send in a text, but the technology now allows you to send more than just a text. You can send a recorded message, you can send a video message, you can even send a page. So now with today's technology, you can actually send that straight to your customer's phone, and there's no delays with as opposed to email, which email is coming back a little bit than it was in the past. You know, at one time, email marketing was a really big thing, but now people are so preoccupied and busy with their phones, they randomly check their emails. Some people have a set day that they check their emails, and some people have their email filters to respond a certain way, so certain emails go out of sight, out of mind, or when they're ready to look at them, as opposed to a text goes straight to your phone, which, as you can see in the picture, and as if you look around you right now, you'll see that all the eyeballs are on the phone. This makes SMS marketing, mobile marketing as it's called, the ideal platform. And I know some people may get confused, so let me rewind and bring you back to a little bit of my history, so you're not fooled by the term some people give me as a mobile marketing guru. I am no guru in any sense of the word. I basically learned what I learned, most of it out of necessity, out of having a hardship in my life where I had to operate and function out of my vehicle, basically on my cell phone. This was around, I think maybe 2015, 2016, around then, when mobile marketing was kind of dawning, and those innovators and those I guess visionaries could see that we would be at this time where mobile marketing is the thing, and mobile platforms, SMS marketing, all of this is the thing now. So back then I had to learn how to function and make things happen on that level. So not knowing about all the futuristic stuff and all this was going to happen, I wasn't a visionary. I just, as I mentioned, I had to operate and function out of necessity on my phone. And one of the things I learned, I started out in merchant services, which was providing ways for merchants, business owners to process credit cards, gift cards, electronic checks, etc., for their businesses. And I learned early on that my job was kind of incomplete or obsolete even if these particular business people had no customers coming in the door. And if they didn't have any customers coming in the door, then there's really no need to have the merchant account processing. So long story short, I started learning other ways to get customers, which is what led me in the direction that I flow in now, which is the online marketing, digital marketing, and things of that nature. And, doing that, I learned a lot, made a lot of mistakes, and I would build people's websites because you have to have a website. There's 5 pillars you must have, especially in 2020, in order to be viable and thriving in today's marketplace. Without marketing, it's like a car with no gas. So um, you can get out and push, and you'll finally get to your destination, I guess, eventually if you don't burn out. But it's so much easier to put gas in the car and press on the accelerator. That being said, with this mobile marketing, the 5 pillars that you need is a website. You need a Google presence, which I help people with all of these. So I have skills and connections to get results in all of these areas. So, but I had to learn this eventually. So you have a website, you have a Google presence, you have reviews, you have video, and you have social media presence. All 5 of those have to be in your recipe of your business, especially in this century, in this generation now. So one of the things I learned along the way with building the websites, which was one of the pillars, and I found that a lot of my customers didn't have websites at the time. This was when things were shifting, and in order to get that Google presence, to get listed in Google and to get listed in Google in a significant spot or area, it's on the dresser. Excuse me. So in order to get listed high enough on Google, because the average person doesn't look through to page 10, 20, all that. Most people don't even go past the 3rd page, and the higher majority just stays on page 1. So one of the algorithms started early in my learning of the mobile marketing genre was that one of the algorithms in Google, building your Google presence, was Google started giving preference to websites that were either mobilely responsive, which means your website can detect whether a person is looking at it on a desktop or looking at it on their phone. So Google began to give preference to those websites that were either built mobilely or mobilely responsive. And that was a big thing. And there's a lot of people that, clients I have that actually had websites, but they weren't responsive or they weren't mobile ready. So not only the people that didn't have websites, but the people who even had websites and thought they were getting some traction with the website actually found out one of the reasons you're not getting that traction was because of the way your website reacted on a phone. And there's a lot of things that goes into that, a lot of moving parts. And actually, you can learn exactly where, if you have a website right now and you're trying to figure out where you stand, what kind of engagement and actual results are you getting, how you stand against your competition, the number I shared earlier, to text iHustle to. If you follow those steps, it actually will take you to a form where you can fill out, and my team, will actually do the analysis on your website and three of your most competitive competitors, and we'll tell you where you stand in relation to them, some of the things that you can do to get a higher return on your website as far as engagement and getting up there and being seen and exposure, as well as some of the things that you may not know that your competition is doing. So once again, that's another fringe benefit. It's free. If you text iHustle to the number, I don't know it by heart yet, I don't think. I believe it's 716-281-4597. Don't quote me. I used to have a photographic memory and good with numbers, but I think after 50, some of those things kind of drop off. But I will post that number again before I get off this live. And you can always go to my website. So that being said, that kind of changed the game with the Google presence. And that was, like I said, the beginning of these changes that have been made to the new marketing trend that's out with the mobile marketing. So one of the things you're going to do with using mobile marketing, you are going to maximize your revenue, because you're going to be able to get a lot more done with automation in your nurturing and building relationships with clients and possible customers and prospects, because all of us know in sales that the number one thing is you have to build a relationship, rapport, and nurture the relationship with your customers. Most sales aren't made on the first date, so to speak. So most people don't kiss on the first date, so to speak. But if, and that thing now in today's day and age, today's fast-paced day and age, it's just a lot of work. And so with the technology that's out here now, and with SMS marketing, you're going to be able to have a lot of that nurturing and contact and engagement to be automated. It'll still be you, it'll still be your messages, it'll still flow in a so to speak, funnel to build that relationship and get that trust and rapport over time. But it will take a whole lot less of your time and hitting your head against a brick wall to do. You can promote, you can target, and generate the leads you need through the system. You'll generate more leads and you'll shorten the sales cycle because of the automation you have, where you're able to reach way more amount of people at one time with things like broadcasting your message to your particular list, etc. And ultimately close deals with lead nurturing and business tech messaging tools that help you connect with your customers every step of the way. So you're able to actually walk that person through. And like I mentioned, that's why I put that at the beginning of my presentation, because I can get long-winded with this stuff sometimes. And I know a lot of times with technology, it is kind of dry. So before I bore you, if you want the hands-on to see how it actually works, I suggest you go and text that iHustle to the number that I'll share again when I'm done. But definitely that's going to show you, give you an idea of how this new process that's going on with SMS marketing and how it's doing things. So with SMS marketing, you're going to get real-time engagement. And what I mean by real-time engagement is that these messages are directly to the cell phones of the people you're trying to reach, which is where, as I mentioned earlier, the eyeballs are. The eyeballs are on the phone. You're probably watching this live on your phone right now. People are doing everything on their phone right now. And with text messaging, it goes directly to that person's phone, where their eyeballs are in real time. They're getting that message. So as opposed to a lot of the other forms of marketing, which I don't completely put them down, but I will say, and as you'll find out if you haven't already, that The other forms of marketing take a lot of time. You have to know what you're doing because there's a lot of moving parts, and the platforms available use a lot of different algorithms, which if you don't know ahead of time, which I have a team of people that actually sit in front of their computer and it's their job to notice the changes in the algorithm and adjust the marketing accordingly. And that's one of the reasons why that particular um, uh, service is so expensive. I don't know if you've used one of those services before, but usually I get a high shock value when I tell people what that service costs when they ask for it from me, which you do need it because that's one of the 5 pillars. But as far as the real ROI on your marketing, in my opinion, is going to be this type of uh, marketing, SMS marketing, going with real-time engagement, going directly to your client as opposed to they may uh, follow through and you get a conversion from the marketing that you do as opposed to it's right there in their face at, at the time that they're looking at their phone, which is usually most of the time because everybody has a phone now as opposed to earlier, way back in the day. I can remember when some of the first cell phones came out, and I remember my mom had one, and it was the kind that you had to plug a cigarette lighter into the car, and it was like a box, this big, huge contraption, and it was crazy. It was a wire going to it, so it was all wire and everything. And now we have basically a computer that you can fit in your pocket, which everybody is using all the time to do a number of things, which I learned early in life. You can actually run your business from your phone, which what I do most of the time. I call it pocket-sized business. And uh, the phones now and the technology out today are so advanced that all you really need is basically your cell phone and maybe a laptop or tablet, something like that. And you can actually run your entire business now, as opposed to the way things were back in the day. Like back in the day, making phone calls, we all know how frustrating that can be. And right now, in today's day and age, it's about 87 to probably closer to 100% of the people that you're going to call are not going to answer the phone. People just are not answering that phone, especially from a number that they don't recognize. So that form of marketing is actually just out of the question right now. So this is what the industry and everybody is seeing, and everyone is jumping on board. You probably noticed probably 3-4 years ago, or maybe even earlier than that, when the big companies were using this technology, where you'd see like maybe Pizza Hut text pizza to 55555, and that's actually, when you do that, you're actually starting the opt-in process, which this industry has went through, and this technology has went through a lot of regulation and stuff because of the privacy issues and your direct access to someone's personal cell phone. So, but back in the day, big companies were taking advantage of this technology because they saw how this day and age, everything is on the phone. So hopefully I'm not talking or moving too fast. I'm usually a slow processing type of person. So if there's any people like me out there like that, then you know that I talk slow and I process slow. So I try to anyway. Sometimes people tell me I'm going too fast. But back to the subject at hand, and we were talking about social media. So many moving parts. A plethora of moving parts when it comes to social media. I joke sometimes that, well, truthfully, in the early days, I had my wife and my kids helping me build up my social media presence and things like that. And eventually the kids dropped off because I wasn't paying them. The wife still helps now and then, and we do lives and stuff like that together. We work together kind of well. But the thought did cross my mind to hire a pet to actually do some of the things. It's a lot cheaper than having to pay somebody. Unfortunately, I didn't have a pet with that type of aptitude to be able to help me with my social media marketing, which, like I said, there's a lot of moving parts. Last year alone, Facebook had about somewhere around 500 changes to their algorithm. So if you weren't looking and watching and paying attention and adjusting accordingly, little things like the way your picture looked, the pixels in your picture, the message you put out, all types of things affected the exposure of your marketing and the engagement of your marketing. Speaking of engagement, Instagram, which is a popular marketing platform for a lot of people, but a lot of people don't know because they watch some of these people with millions of followers. But one of the biggest things with Instagram, one of the biggest drawbacks is the people you're going to reach with Instagram. You're going to get somewhere around a 3.5% the people that's actually going to see your message. Now, what that means in layman's terms for people like me is for every 100 followers that I have, I'm going to have whatever message I post. For every 100, 4 people are going to see it. So I haven't checked my Instagram account in a while. I think maybe I have somewhere around 8,000, but that's not much. And that 8,000, there's a fraction of that that's really engaged. So that plays a factor into it too. Bottom line, social media marketing is complicated. So if you're gonna do it, you are better off paying a service or people like myself that have those skills or connections to get it done right, so that you're going to get the best return on your investment in that type of marketing, as opposed to SMS marketing, which is the subject I am speaking on. So as I come to a close, I just wanted to share what that is. I just wanted to share one of the other big changes that's happening in this industry right now, and that is going to be voice marketing, voice search marketing, which is the big thing now, and it's based on a totally new algorithm and technology than the Google part is. So you may have found or figured out that the big search now, a lot of people aren't really doing the Google search, especially the younger generation. They're using Alexa, they're using Siri, they're using Google Assistant, etc. And that represents a totally different platform, which I actually help people with, which is another long discussion to explain. So I just put my website down here so you can actually just access that information on your own on my website at voice.ihustledaily.org. But that is all to say that the future of marketing is that the new marketing platforms out there are targeting mobile phones. And if you're not in the game, it's like people tell me all the time, I got a website and all that. But if you don't have these 5 pillars that I mentioned earlier, your website plus reviews plus a Google presence, or now a voice search presence, as well as social media presence and videos on your website and videos that point to you. And there's a few other moving parts that go to that 5 platforms. But like I said, I wanted to make this a short presentation, and I don't want to go too deep and get all long and drawn out on it. But if you don't have those basic things in place, you might as well hang your website in the middle of the desert where nobody passes, because that's in essence what you're doing, just having a website or kind of dibbing and dabbing in your social media marketing and things like that, and not really knowing how this game is played. Case in point, even Facebook understands where this market is going. So there's actually Facebook offers, and I took this little picture here with the where it says your account has been activated. I do test different methods and stuff so I can come back and do reviews and things like that. So if you go to my website, you'll find different reviews that I put up on different products that come out concerning this industry and concerning the overall 5 pillars. So I do test things out to find out the good and the bad about them. I actually use 2 SMS marketing platforms that I basically fell in love with and that work for me. And like I said, you can experience one of those, or even if you call my number, I believe I have my contact information on the next slide here, but calling my number, you'll actually see my whole system is plugged up so that those systems are plugged into everything I do, and my marketing, therefore, is a lot more smoother. I don't have to go chasing clients. I don't have to do a lot of the footwork that I originally had to do back in the day because I learned to use this technology to do a lot of that now, just like I'm using this live here now on Facebook. So that being said, do I got my contact information on here? Yes, I do. There's my number. So that being said, I'm going to end this live. Like I said, I started this live basically to get a recording right here on Natomas Power Partners of the presentation I gave earlier this morning, which we neglected to record, and we do record the presentations. We meet every Thursday morning at Mel's Diner on, here I go with my memory, I believe it's 2057, but don't quote me. It's Arena Boulevard, the only Mel's you'll find on Arena Boulevard in Natomas, California, and 8 a.m. Thursday mornings, that's when we meet and we do things like these presentations, exchange ideas, bring referrals and leads, and figure out ways that we can get more leads and referrals to our particular members and people that are a part of Natomas Power Partners. So that being said, enjoy your Thursday, and I'm out. Peace. That's a wrap.